Okay, we're going to take a look at factorising. Factorising is when you're changing something from sum into product. So what I mean by that is that factorising is changing it into its factors, into its multiplication. So factors and product and multiplication are all the same thing. The first type, there's 4 different types. The first one that we're going to look at is called taking out what's common, and this is the easiest type, and it's used then for the next type that we're going to look at, which is called grouping. So when we're taking out what's common, what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to find a number that either divides into both numbers that are there or a letter that is in both, and we're going to take it out and we're going to write it outside the bracket. So we're changing this, we're going back to what it would have been before we multiplied it. So if I look at this first one here, this 5x plus 10, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see, is there a number that divides into both of these numbers? And we can see that the number that will divide into both is the number 5. So I write down the number 5, and what I do is I open up a bracket, because that's all that's common between the two. There's no letter that's common, even though in the next one we'll look at there will be letters, but this one is just numbers. So if I take 5 out, what I do with each of the numbers that is then left, I divide the 5 into them. So 5 into 5 goes once, so I know that is going to be a 1, and I keep the x beside it. 5 into 10 goes twice, so I make that a 2. So now if I went to multiply out that bracket, I'd end up back up at the 5x plus 10. So we have just gone back to what it would have been before it was multiplied out. If we take a look at example 2 then, we have 6xy minus 2x. So if you want to pause, you can give a go and see what number will come out and what letter will also come out. I'm going to just keep going here and answer this, but if you want to pause it and try it, then do. So the number that's going to divide into both of these is the number 2. So I'm going to take out a 2 first. Now to be careful, because I can't draw my bracket yet, because I can see that x is also in both of them. So I'm going to also take out an x. So what I do now is there's nothing else that's going to come out as common. I open my bracket and I say 2 into 6, that's going to go 3 times. I've taken my x out, so I ignore it, and then I write my y. And the last bit then is 2 into 2 goes once. I keep my minus there. I put my 1, I've taken x out, and that's my answer. Okay, if you want to go ahead and try the third one, you can. I'm going to keep going and answer them. Pause the video if you want to try it. For looking at example 3 then, x squared minus 3xy. Firstly, there's no number that's going to come out here. There's only a 1, but I don't need to write a 1. I can if I want, but I don't need to. I can see that there's x's in both, so I can take out an x as common. There's nothing else that's going to come out, so I'm going to open up my bracket. I know that x squared means that there was 2 x's, so if I've taken one out, then there's 1 left over to go here. I keep my minus 3, it stays. The x has been taken out, and I write y beside it. And that's my answer done. Example 4 then, same thing. If you want to pause, you can, and you can give it a go and see do you get your right answer. I'm going to keep going. So for this one, 5x squared minus x, what's common in between those two is going to be x, so I'm going to take out x as common, and I'm going to open up a bracket. The 5 remains in there because I didn't take out a number, or I took out a 1, and that's not going to change anything. I keep my x beside it because I know that x, there's 2x is an x squared. The last one, then I keep my minus and I take my x out, but I don't forget I need a 1 there to show that there was something there, or to remember that there was a 1 in front of that x squared, or in front of that x. Okay, so that's how we do it, taking out what's common.